Who would win in a fight? Hercules from Hercules in New York, or Smacks the cartoon cereal frog?
I'm pretty biased towards. Well, I don't know. I have like a nostalgia bias for the Honey Smacks frog, because Honey Smacks fuck. But I also have like a recency bias because I'm fresh off of Hercules in New York and it was amazing, and I cummed all over the place. Like you guys are looking like glazed donuts right now.
Harlan urinated on the floor.
Yeah, it was really
That
weird.
as well.
This movie's gonna flop. Our minds about to pop. But enough of that noise. Time for the B-roll, boys.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another coat hanger throwing episode of B-roll boys. My name's Harlan.
I am Hercules. I am Wes.
Yo, bro, straight out of Wrigley Field. It's just...
And we're here in Central Park. And this is B-roll boys, and we're here to talk about Hercules in New York from 1969. And holy shit, this is exactly the kind of movie that this is perfect for the show.
Our first fan request.
Yes, shout out to Not Mara Rose, who recommended this to us. You are awesome.
What's his government name? Send us your social security number.
Yes, please. Yeah, this was perfect for the show. Thank you so much for recommending this to us. If you have any others like this, send them our way, because we enjoyed the shit out of this. Was that just me? I had a great time.
Well, within 5 minutes, I think we're all like, I love this.
Oh, yeah, I think we knew, like, almost right away.
I came in a legitimately bad mood, and this cheered me up.
Oh, yeah, I could tell. Yeah, Justin was all pouting and you know, crying and shit. And then he was laughing and making fart sounds all day.
As soon as Arnie opens his mouth.
I had a day of work where I wasn't making fart sounds all day. That made me mad.
Now you can make fart sounds all day.
It was different from the other days at work where I do make fart sounds.
Okay, so, so this is Hercules in New York, and it's about Hercules, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, in his first ever movie role. His first ever.
You can tell.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
that.
you can't really tell.
And he lives on Olympus with Zeus and the gang. And he just kind of gets bored one day, and he's like, I want to go to Earth and see all the people. And his dad's like, no, and he's like, I'm going to do it anyway. And so he just kind of does, and he just kind of gets in his shenanigans, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Then after his shenanigans, he goes home, and it was just a good old time.
He does just kind of go home at the end, doesn't he? It's a little weird.
Goes home and hangs out.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what'd you guys think of the movie? Like,
I mean,
where do we even begin
right?
with a film like this?
It was the opus of everything I've ever hoped for in a film.
Okay, so like Justin said, you can absolutely tell this is Arnie's first film. Like, Wes said at one point, like, this is his first film. It was 1969. It seems like he'd been speaking English for like 2 months because he's having a really hard time enunciating. He's like, I'm Hercules.
Especially all these like Greek god names that have 1,000 syllables.
Oh yeah,
he's really trudging through that.
There's one sentence where he's like, "Promiscuous and very down love." I'm like,
also,
what?
his facial expression just never changes. He looks kind of bored.
That goes for most of the actors in this movie. Like I like of course Arnie's bad in this, but everybody's bad and very one note. Like I don't think I saw any actor make more than one, maybe two faces throughout this whole thing. They're all very flat.
Arnie's just in a state of constant euphoria in this whole movie.
It's like a Tim and Eric sketch.
He's got the same dumb look on his face, where it's just like, I'm Hercules.
It's like the your
I do not
dumb
have
face.
money. Yeah, but then occasionally he gets like a little. But yeah, Hercules is just, like normally we pick a side character to latch onto and like claim as the Chad of the movie, but that Ken. But that character is thankfully the main character in this movie. Hercules is just. Have you ever seen a clearer embodiment of the Chad meme?
He's mighty.
He is.
My God.
And he's got great tits.
He can go the distance. He does have great tits. That like at one point he put on a tank top, and it was like, what was the point of it? Because it came down to almost below his pecs. Like
that like came down to his belly button.
It was covering like not even half of his torso.
It almost looked like the green Borat thong. I feel like every shot in this was constructed just to show off how buff Arnie is.
Oh,
exactly.
100%.
Which is
Like, my man's looking like a Rob Liefeld drawing.
she just looks like a sack of boulders.
Yeah.
Sack of boulders.
Okay, and also the editing. Like,
Oh, it's terrible.
the editing, there are so many parts where, like, either, like, a shot will just hang on for a little too long, where it feels like, you know, the actor was waiting for the director to tell them to stop. You know, like, they were good, you know, they could move on to the next thing.
They're just holding, waiting for the cut.
Yeah, like, they're, like, I forget, like, what exactly he said, but there's one part where, like, Arnie's on, like, some sort of, like, talk show or something, and he's, like, demonstrating his weightlifting abilities, and the guy's like, I don't know, he's like, and now Hercules, and then, like, he just kind of, like, it's almost like it freeze frames on him, like, he just holds a face for a minute, and it's just like, what the fuck was that? There are parts where, like, I don't know, like, it'll just, they'll be, like, arguing with Zeus, and Zeus will be like, Promesia, tell me or I swear I'll... And then, like, he was clearly supposed to be interrupted by her, but they just, like, didn't cut it soon enough. So he, like, pauses for, like, 3 seconds, and there she's like, no, Zeus, I'll tell you. Don't worry.
It's edited like a fucking play.
It's really awful.
Like,
but it's great. That's what we love
within the
about
same scenes, there's, like, jump cuts like it's a YouTube video.
it. Yeah.
There's just, like,
what
all
scene was
throughout
that? Yeah,
the movie.
where, like, Arnie was, like, in the middle of a sentence, and then it just cut to something else. Like, him, like, doing the same thing.
It happened with the Zeus crew too, where like they were doing something and then it just cut to them doing something else, like but within the same frame.
Yeah. Super
And
weird.
it
It's
happened-
it's hard to describe, you know, like you really have to see this movie to understand how like jumbled and choppy the editing is. It's worth it, so check it out.
Anytime that Zeus and his crew are on screen, I could just tell that those actors were not on set at the same time
Oh,
because it just keeps
totally.
cutting like back and forth between characters talking, but you can tell they're just talking to nothing.
Yeah, it's great.
Which kind of blows my mind, because how did they not film this, like, over a weekend?
Like I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
should
that
have been in the same
Nemesis
room.
was not even like in the same on the same set at
I
all.
mean, she has like 2 scenes throughout the whole movie, and like, and yeah, in her first scene, like Zeus summons her. He's like, "I would speak with Nemesis," and she walks up, and then yeah, like you said, like you never see them actually like in the same
3
shot.
weeks
like,
later.
Yeah, and then she shows up, and then like she's like, "Well, what's up, Zeus? What can I do for you?" And he's like, "Hey, fuck
what up,
with
bro?"
my son down on Earth, okay?" But then everybody else is like, "But Zeus, no, have mercy. Zeus, no, you need to you know be more harsh on him, blah blah blah." And they just kind of forgot Nemesis was there. Like she showed up just to be like, "Yeah, what's up?" And then she just doesn't do anything for like 30 minutes.
Can we talk about Zeus's beard?
Let's talk about just
Just Zeus
All
in
Zeus
general.
in general? Like
yeah,
his
he's
whole-
got the worst fake beard you've ever seen. It's great.
This looks atrocious. You can see the glue on his chin.
But really, everything about Zeus and the Olympians looks awful. Like they have like, there's one point where like these dudes are like shooting a bow and arrow, and it's like the foamiest looking bow and arrow you've ever seen. Like it, like nothing about it looks convincing.
It's like a $5 bow you can buy at Big Lots.
It looks like a LARP. It looks like LARP equipment.
totally, yeah, like the kind of thing you bring like to a LARP session because you're okay with it getting like beat up a little bit, you know?
Speaking of, like, those bent metal rods Zeus was using as lightning bolts.
Yeah,
he's got
there's, like,
fucking
coat
bent
hangers.
rebar.
No, but yeah, like you see that it's bent rebar later, but like from afar, it literally looks like he just has coat hangers that are bent like into a lightning bolt with an arrow at the end of it, and like he throws them.
They're like bedazzled.
Yeah, yeah, and like they just like keep him on standby in like a bucket that his servants carry around with him, and he's just like, lightning bolt, come on, and they like give it to him, and he like just kind of like lazily throws it, and like it's like it creates like a relatively small fire. Like
Well,
this
it
is
goes
not
off
what
like
you.
a grenade. It has like a.
Yeah, but the end result is like a small fire, and like this is not what I picture when I think of Zeus throwing lightning bolts. Like it's very tame.
I mean, this was rated G. I don't know how, because I was boned up the whole time.
Yeah. And yeah, like I don't know, like the
How
whole.
can I be rated G when I have an erection the whole time?
And like everything about like how Zeus works is just like so like he's got like this crystal ball in front of him that for the most of the movie he watches over Hercules in New York. And like when they reveal it, like it's like covered with like a red like drape, and it's like literally like a foot in front of him, like it's right in front of his throne, and he goes and he's like, "Let's watch," and he claps, and then a servant like literally standing right next to him just moves the drape, and it's like you couldn't have done that yourself.
This Zeus is a lazy fuck.
Yeah.
He's gotten pretty posh up there.
But then the real movie starts when fucking Hercules is like, Dad, I want to go to Earth. I'm bored. And he's like, no. And he's
He
like,
even says he's bored.
yeah, he really is just bored. I'm like, there's no like,
been here too long.
yeah, you'd think that this demigod would have like some sort of like, like really noble reason to like want to go, but he's literally just bored. He's like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm
It's
out of
not
here.
lit enough here. I want to go to Wrigley Field.
He just wants to hang out on Earth for a bit.
I want to go see the Jets play.
And apparently, whenever anyone like goes to Earth from Olympus, they just always target an airplane.
Yeah, where they just like hang on the side of it and they're
Well,
on the outside.
I'm
Freak people
confused
out.
because like, we see later that Hercules like landed in the ocean, but then there's also a lady who like sees him flying outside the plane, and I'm like, so did he like just fall?
If he can totally fly, then why doesn't he just like fly to land?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why did he land in the ocean and then need to get picked up by a boat? Like,
Maybe he
Well,
just
I
like
don't know,
he power dove down to Earth like
just
Master
glided.
Chief in Halo 2.
he was falling with style.
He gave
yeah.
the Covenant back their bomb.
What if he was just chilling on the wing of the plane like it was Twilight Zone? And then he fell into the water. And then that crew like picked
Wes,
him up.
grow up. This is a serious movie.
I'm
Okay, but
sorry.
that crew picks him up, and like, the movie like really had my attention already. This is like only a few minutes into the movie, and like Hercules gets
There
picked up, and
weren't
they're
pacing issues.
like, well.
Oh boy.
I no, if I could be serious, I do think the movie was not nearly as entertaining in the last half.
Yeah, I was kind of getting bored. toward the
Yeah,
end.
like the first 30 minutes was easily the best, and the last half was not nearly as good
the
for me.
novelty wore off, and I was like, okay, I'm
Well,
tired.
because he was just like fucking shit up. He was literally just like fucking shit up and screwing people over out of his own like ignorance of like cultural expectations for like 30 minutes, and then after that like he kind of like simmers down and he's just kind of like there's like a romance and shit. But so he gets picked up by this boat and they're like, where are you from? And he's like, Olympus. And they're like, what like what's your rank?
pulls it out.
And yeah, they're like he's unintentionally like disrespecting the captain of the ship, and they're like, I don't think he means it, man. Like I think it's just a translation issues. And he's like, well, what's your rank on your ship? And he's like, I'm Hercules. And that's like his catchphrase in the movie. He's always just like, they're like, no,
like a
Hercules,
Pokemon.
you can't do this. You can't just mug children or something like that. And he's always like, but I am Hercules.
Yeah, everyone on that boat is pretty forgiving. Because he
Yeah.
like starts fucking shit up right away, and every single time the ship captain's like, "Oh, he's foreign. Don't worry about it. It's just lost in translation."
Yeah, it's great because
Very
this is
inclusive of him.
I did not know that this is where the meme came from of Arnie running shirtless wearing a beanie. But yeah, like they try to get him to do some work on the ship, in exchange for helping him out. And they're like, Hercules, come on,
"No."
help us out. And he's just like, nah, I don't wanna. And so they start fighting him. And yeah, we see Hercules fighting like 10 dudes at once. And they're like, dude, what the hell? And he's like, I'm Hercules.
says like 10
and then yeah,
times.
they're literally just like, he's a foreigner. It's okay. He doesn't understand.
And this movie's idea of fighting is just dudes just tossing each other around.
Oh yeah, there's no like
There's
punches
barely
thrown.
a punch lands. He just
These-
picks people up and throws them, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Look, these no contact punches, just like a foot of space in between Arnie's fist and that dude's face.
But there's also like a lot of shots. Anytime Arnie does something physical, there's a lot of shots like from like his knees up, that like show him like lifting shit. It's really weird.
yeah, this just shows physique.
Yeah, that's like the whole
You
purpose
gotta
of the
see
movie.
his pecs taking up like 40% of the screen.
Yeah, but on his way off the boat, he picks up a crate and just throws it for no fucking reason.
He's like, "Oh,
Just to be a
America."
dick.
They
Just
just
like,
tosses
"Ugh."
it
He
aside.
did it just to be a dick. It was
Like a little
great.
kid knocking something over.
Yeah, like my cat on knocking over a fucking vase.
And they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I'm
And then they
Hercules.
start attacking him.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
that
he-
dude's 400 pounds of muscle. Let's take him.
Yeah, he tries to leave, and they're like, "Hey, man, you gotta like pay us or something." And then they're like, $20 to the first guy who can grab him. And then he like literally fights off 4 dudes by grabbing a giant like a 20-foot long plank of wood, and he like uses it to like maneuver them and then push them off of the deck.
That
And
was
then-
the most awkward 30 seconds of
Right,
my
it
time.
just looks like they're doing a little dance.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
These
it
guys
was
are like running in place while like, "Arr."
Yeah, it went on for so long, and yeah, they're supposed to be like pushing against each other on opposite sides of this wood, but there's nothing convincing about it. You can tell they're just like cooperatively like maneuvering like clockwise towards the dock.
Yeah.
It's so awkward, but it's great.
And when he does finally force them like off the pier or whatever,
They clearly just jump in.
Yeah, they'll be like, and then like take a step and then
Yeah.
intentionally jump.
I would say like
these guys
that.
didn't even try.
That's like one of the most entertaining things about this movie is like the so half-assed fight choreography where people are obviously just like tripping by themselves and they're like, oh no, whoops.
Like you have to wonder if it's a parody at a certain point.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
where it reminds me of Tim and Eric. Everything is just kind of uncomfortable and kind of like what?
Ooh, and
Like
also
you'll say what after
also,
every line.
in that same scene when those guys are attacking him, one of them like picks up a table that was there for some reason and he fucking hits Arnie with it and Arnie breaks it with his pecs. He breaks this table clean in half. It was amazing.
I mean, I believe that actually happened. That was real.
Oh yeah, that was unscripted.
That was completely improvised. That was a director.
They just did that out of frustration because they couldn't understand what Arnie was saying.
No man is superior to Hercules.
And I guess that's like the whole running gag of like people use different, figures of speech or slang with Hercules, and he'll just be like, I don't get it. Like when him and this other like little guy, I don't remember. Did we catch that character's name?
I think it was like Perksy or something.
Oh
It was
yeah.
Pretzi because he
Pretzi.
is a pretzel salesman.
Is that what he was?
Yeah, because he comes into the taxi with this giant basket of pretzels that he leaves in the front seat.
I didn't remember that.
After they exploit this taxi driver they get in, accept the ride, and he's like, hey man, $2. And Arnie's like, bucks? Yeah, the dough.
Dough?
Why are you talking about animals? And it's like,
No, then he says like some
Herder.
scientific like words for animals. It's like, why would you make him say that? Like, why are you referring to zoological animals? Like, stuff like that.
It was the most slurred sentence I've ever heard. Why are we speaking of the zoological animals of the male and female variety?
it's like, man, that's just mean. I kind of feel bad for Arnie in this.
Oh my god.
They're making him do all these tongue twisters when it's very clearly not his first language.
Oh,
He's like, seashells, baby, seashell.
I mean, it worked out. He held office.
Yeah, he got elected after this.
Yeah, I think he's doing all right.
Yeah, Governor doesn't need our permission.
Yeah, this movie gave me Mad Yor vibes a lot of the time. He easily could have taken a turn, much like that of Reb Brown's career. But
His
thankfully not.
illustrious career.
But I want to touch on this taxi scene again because after, Arnold is like, what's his dough? What's our bucks? The guy's like, money. I need $2. Money.
Literally $2.
The cost of a service that I yielded you guys. And he's like, I don't have any. And they flip this guy's car and leave.
Well,
Not
not
they
only
though.
that-
Arnie flips the car single-handedly.
Oh yeah, because of course he's a beast.
Well, then the guy comes at him, then Arnie just chucks him into the woods.
He chucks him in the
Well,
woods,
and-
flips his car, and dips.
And then they run away as if
Fuck Arnold.
he's gonna retaliate somehow. I'm like, what is he gonna do to you? You just flipped his fucking car.
Was this a precursor to Hancock?
This is kind of like the absolute lamest version of Hancock.
Oh. But then
It's like crossing Hancock and Borat.
So they run away from the taxi driver, and they end up somewhere else. There they are in Central Park, as Pretzi says.
Oh, gee, Herc. Oh, God, jeez.
And he like sees some like college athletes, like throwing discus and like like pole vaulting and shit
How
like
could
that.
you throw a discus like that?
Yeah, it's great. And he's like, "What are they doing? I would like to try. Let me educate them." And he's like, "No, Herc, you can't do that." And he's like, "Why not?"
But it's an honor. I am Hercules.
You don't want me to teach them?
So he like goes over and he's like,
He's such a pious fuck the whole time. He's like, you mean they're not immediately ejaculating in my presence, but I'm Hercules.
We were.
I mean, yeah, but
He should have hung out with us.
yeah,
We should
we're
be
like
so lucky.
drooling apes. These are supposed to
Just
be
like Arnie.
respected
This is perfect.
These are respected
Oh.
athletes.
yeah. So he throws. It's really frustrating because like it shows him like throw the discus, but like it only ever shows like just that and then it landing, and it's not clear like how far it actually went. Just everybody's like, whoa, and I'm like, for all I know, that was like 10 feet. Like,
That's another recurring thing is we're just supposed to believe.
we're supposed to like fill in the blanks. Like,
yeah. We couldn't just show him throwing it far, as I'm sure Arnold could.
or I mean,
No, we have to like cut away from it, or like we show him throwing it, and then you see everybody else like
you see
looking
everybody's
in
face.
awe,
Yeah.
and then at you see the discus falling at like a different spot on the field, but you don't know how far away it is. There's only one shot that actually conveys how far it is.
Yeah, you really have to kind of just infer that, like, okay, everybody's impressed, so I guess it was impressive.
Yeah, don't worry, he's strong.
But it still seems like within the realm of, like, human possibility, you know? Because otherwise they would be like, wow, you are actually Hercules.
Yeah, I didn't think the distance was that great.
Yeah, it didn't seem that impressive.
I don't know how heavy this disc is supposed to be, but it just looks like a frisbee.
Well, the discus
He threw
is
it like
one.
100 feet.
The discus is one thing, then they have him throw a javelin. It's like I probably wouldn't trust Arnie with a javelin either.
Yeah, he could have killed somebody.
Yeah.
He would have killed somebody.
And then afterwards, like, this professor and his daughter have been, like, watching from, like, the steps of the building outside. And they come up and, like, talk to Pretzi and Arnie and invite them over for tea. And it's really funny in this scene. I think this is the only scene that it happened in. But, like, you know, there's a shot where, like, the shot will be, like, of everyone in the group, like, facing each other talking. But then whenever Arnie has a line, it cuts to a close-up of Arnie. And it really feels like they just had Arnie, like, they just skipped Arnie's lines and then, like, did him by himself in a close-up.
They might have had to, man.
I think so.
He
Like,
probably
they-
said every take like 50 times until it was like
Yeah, like,
listenable.
I really think they couldn't get a good take out of him that was, you know, a shot of the entire group. So they just, like, had the camera just on him to do it separately. Because it's really weird. He's the only one it, like, does a close-up shot to. And then it cuts back to everyone.
It's also just funny to see like a 21 or 22-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's
It's
a
just
baby, but he's also 6'4".
Like, yeah, he's enormous. He's a Jeep.
But he's got a little baby face.
He's so innocent.
He's so cute.
I'm Hercules.
He didn't
I'm
pull a
Hercules.
guy's heart out of his chest though.
Yeah,
Not yet.
unfortunately.
That would come in 1984.
That was a good year.
Yeah, so
God's
they
ear.
go back to the professors for tea, and Hercules gets into a fight with his daughter's boyfriend, and it's really weird because like
Cucks this guy.
well he just like he's like, hey man, you can't be I forget what he said. I don't think it was actually anything that bad, but he's like, you can't be disrespecting my woman like that, and so he like tries to punch Arnie right in the stomach. And Arnie's like, you have hit Hercules.
You've struck Hercules.
Now he
struck
can
Hercules.
retaliate. And so he like picks him up and like lifts him over his shoulders, and the guy's just like, no, let me down. And he's like
Breaks
punching.
his back like Bane.
He's just like punching Arnie in the side while he's doing it. It's got like all these whoosh sound effects. And he just kind of like, and then the scene just kind of ends. Like, I don't know what the outcome of that was because like I think like in the very next scene we see Arnie just dating the girl, and I'm like, did they break up? Like, did she break up with her boyfriend over that?
When the boyfriend comes back later, they just go on a date anyway.
Like what? Like is she cheating on him with Arnie?
Wouldn't you though?
Yeah, that's fair. No, it was very confusing. I was so unclear on what the deal was.
Okay, it is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It just cut to them like riding in a chariot together and like going around town and seeing the sights, and I was like,
And
what?
he's just staring at her like a piece of meat. Like at one point, he just sits on the couch and is like really
are-
uncomfortably close to her. He's just like has this dumb smile. Like,
You are a goddess.
well, that's where I got hardcore your vibes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then
Hello, prospective mate.
And then meanwhile, during their sweet chariot ride, we have an escape at the zoo.
Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah, just out of nowhere, like it just shows like a bear escape from a zoo. And Justin, well, I too, I think we all thought it was supposed to be like a gorilla because of the way it walks. Like it very much walks kind of more like a gorilla would run, but apparently it's supposed to be a 600-pound grizzly bear, as they say.
And it's just a dude in a suit.
It's so just a dude in the suit. It's great.
It just shows him stalking around, and it's just
It like listeners,
just a dude on
listeners.
all fours.
You really do just have to see it to believe it. Like, it's amazing. This guy in this bear suit. It's just the way he like scampers around in Central Park, and then sure enough, like
Central Park.
Central Park. And then sure enough, they're like riding their horse carriage around Central Park, and then they just happen to stumble across this bear, and Hercules, without skipping a beat, is like, I'm on it.
He just kicks its ass.
He
Starts wrestling the bear.
Yeah, he gets in this fist fight with the bear, and then he like knocks it on the ground and starts strangling it. He starts choking the bear.
Just some dude in a really
And then
bad
yeah,
bear
you
suit.
see. Then next you see the fucking newspaper headline. It's like, local myth: Hercules subdues escaped zoo bear or something like that. And I'm like, subdued it? He fucking killed it.
It doesn't even remote. It looks like a Bigfoot costume. Like a Party City Bigfoot.
Oh, it was amazing. It was
Choked him and watched the light leave his eyes.
This is by far my favorite part of the movie. This bear suit. I can't believe I forgot to write it down.
You forgot to note the bear suit?
I did. I somehow forgot. I guess my sides were hurting too much from laughing. It was amazing. Oh my god.
I think that might be the best scene of the movie.
Oh, 100%.
that-
That was my favorite part.
The close second is their second date when he sees a poster of a Hercules play.
And he gets pissed.
It's like, wait, who's this guy? He's not Hercules. Does he look
I'm
like this?
Hercules.
Yeah, he's like, he does not look like Hercules. I look like Hercules.
Because I am Hercules.
And then he rips his shirt off. Does he look like me? Does he
Oh
look
yeah,
like
he rips his shirt off in like every fucking scene.
It's great. He's like, I am Hercules. Whoop whoop. Fucking amazing.
Superhuman, please
Oh
be
my
on our
God.
podcast.
And then at some point, like, he and Pretzi meet these mob dudes, who like get him into wrestling, and then like,
Wrestling?
yeah, they're just like, hey Arnie, do you want to like, you need to make some money, like, cause I guess he like moved in with Pretzi. It's not really clear. Like, he hangs out at this apartment, but it's not clear like if it's I guess it's Pretzi's, but he's like, Arnie, we need to get you some money.
Pretzel's
he's
be
shat-
treating him well.
He shacks up with Pretzi.
Do you think they like share a bed? They probably do.
Definitely. It's a studio.
Yeah, Pretzi's a small guy. So like they're like, hey Hercules, you need to make some money. How about we have you wrestle? And he's like, okay. And so there's just like we timed it. It's a 9-second montage, and it's literally just like there's one clip of Hercules just like holding a dude over his head while like overlaid with it are just like some newspapers flying by about him like, or like, you know, flyers for some wrestling matches, and it's so short. It's literally only like 9.3 seconds.
It's a real blink and you miss it moment.
Like, I was like, did we really need that to convey? But there's a lot of shit like that. Like when the other gods come down to visit him from Olympus, they just kind of show up, and like there's no effort put in,
Instantaneously.
and there's no effort put into finding him. Like when he sends when Nemesis is sent to like poison him, she just like, she's like, okay, I'm gonna go, and then in the next scene she's in a bar wearing like normal New York civilian clothes, and Hercules is right there in the same bar, and I'm like, how did you find him? Like,
Well, I mean, they can always like see him like with their little sight.
Yeah, but like, why did
Ball thing.
Arnie have to come down in the like next to the plane, and these other people just kind of like snap their fingers and teleport?
Well, because
And
he's
they're
only a
right
there.
demigod.
Hercules.
He's half human,
Oh, that's true. I forgot.
yeah.
which they didn't really establish in the movie that much.
Oh, they kind of do. I mean, they do at the beginning because he's like, Zeus, you are as my father. I am your son, and I am half god.
As my father, I am your son, and you are also my father.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of the level of dialogue
No,
that
yeah,
we're on the
totally.
whole time.
Totally.
Like, I know he's foreign. He's not like a 3-year-old.
I mean, surely there's a middle ground between like, I am your father, and that makes me your son, and why are we discussing the delicacies of zoological differences between the male? Like really complex words like that, you know? Like there's something in between.
They could just never find it.
Yeah. So yeah,
I just
like,
couldn't find anybody as ripped and perfect as Arnie.
oh no, couldn't happen. Imagine Reb Brown in this role though.
Ooh.
Okay. So like we said earlier,
Like,
like
getting horny over here.
what's her
Stop,
name?
Arlen, you're gonna
Is it
make me
Juno
come.
or is that his mom? I don't fucking know.
Stop! You're gonna make Wes come.
The Hercules' evil stepmother like sends Nemesis to poison him, and she like puts something in his drink that like takes away his superhumanness, and like, but before that they're like
whatness?
his superhumanness. Good catch.
Hell yeah!
And like, but they convince Zeus to send Mercury down there to just like plead with Hercules to come home one more time. and like he literally just shows up. He's like, all right, Zeus, you got it. I'll go talk to Hercules. And then it cuts, and he's literally just in Pretzi's apartment in a suit and tie. When did
Mercury had that drip.
well, and it shows, and like when he leaves, it shows him like climb out the window, and then it suggests that he flies away. But like, how did he get there?
And Pretzi saw the whole thing.
Yo, Pretzi was on the sauce though.
He was.
He was balls deep in.
He always had a handle
bottle
in
of
his hand.
whiskey
Yeah.
He knew how to party.
by himself.
Yeah.
On his
Pretzi's
own
world is a
couch.
sad world.
He seems like a sad man.
I want to see Pretzi in New York. I don't want to.
That sounds depressing.
I'm feeling a little sad for Pretzi though. He was really sad when Hercules had to go.
Well,
He
it's
lost his
really
only friend.
it's really weird because so yeah, at the end of the movie, spoilers for Hercules in New York. At the end of the movie,
Spoiled this
Hercules just
52-year-old movie.
at the end of the movie, he leaves and goes back to Olympus. And the movie puts a lot of emphasis on how sad Pretzi is that his friend Hercules is gone. And yet this budding romance between him and the daughter of the professor is just completely like dropped. Like he just leaves. He doesn't say goodbye to anyone. Like he literally ditches Pretzi. Like they're on top of the Empire State Building. And like Pretzi like turns around and Hercules is just gone. He doesn't say goodbye to anyone. But yeah, like this romance subplot is just completely abandoned and forgotten about.
He did Pretzi dirty. He did everyone dirty.
Yeah, but like we don't even see like the love interest side of things, you know? Like we don't see her be sad about, like, it's just they forgot.
She's still got her boo thing.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
man.
I guess I have to go back to this twerp from Arnie.
So there's not really a plot to the movie until like there's a conflict in the last like 20 minutes. Where, so Hercules has been poisoned and, stripped of his super strength and shit. Hercules is unaware and, like, he goes on a show and and he's gonna, like, have, like, a weightlifting match with some other bodybuilder. And, like, the mob bosses, like, place a bet. And for some reason, like, they threaten him now. Like, they have no reason to not trust that he will, like, come through for them because he's come through for them on every wrestling match ever. But for some reason, they're like, if you don't beat this guy,
Bro, we'll fuck you up.
we're gonna break your legs.
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah, and then so sure enough,
This is Brooklyn.
so sure enough, he can't lift the 1,000-pound dumbbells. And
Against who? Was it Mondo?
Monstro.
Monstro.
It's a barbell, Harlan. Grow up.
There you go. That's what I said. So yeah, the mob boss is after him, and they
And they beat his ass.
Well, it becomes it really needed like Benny Hill music because like they start chasing they're chasing the love interest around in a car because they think that they're going to Hercules, and then meanwhile Hercules is chasing them in a chariot
with Pretzi.
and yeah, they stole this chariot from a dude who was busy getting a sauerkraut hot dog. And it's really weird because they chase these two cars in the chariot all the way like around all these city blocks and like through Central Park like 3 different times, and then like we see the owner of the chariot who has apparently followed them all this way and kept up with them somehow
On foot with the other guy that's buying the hot dog.
Yeah, who like just wanted to give him his hot dog. He like ditched his stand just to give this guy his sauerkraut.
Hey, that's dedication. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
he got that sauerkraut there
That's
too.
work ethic.
He wanted that good Yelp review.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because there's
QR code.
a lot of this sequence is like sped up for no reason. Like there's one shot where like there's one point where like the mob boss is like almost hit a guy on a motorcycle, and it shows him like veer off the side of the road and up a hill, and it like speeds up the footage by like 200%.
Yeah, like during the same shot,
Yeah,
too.
it's so weird.
This started the YouTube speed ramping.
It felt like a Three Stooges bit for a long time.
It really did.
Yeah.
You know, a really good way to make a car chase seem intense is have a car 30 miles an hour and just speed the footage up.
Yeah, like oh no, it's especially noticeable when like when you see the chariot that Arnie is in, because just the horses are just like they're like prancing, but their feet are like yeah.
It's a very lazy sprint.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Gladiator, this is not.
I'd rather watch this than Gladiator.
I could watch this a second time. This is great.
I like Gladiator. I don't know why everyone shits on Gladiator so much.
Guys, let's not do this thing where we start talking about another movie.
Joaquin's fucking great in it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
So,
What? No, I've got a bone to pick.
No, I'm not saying he's bad in the role. I'm saying that character is such a shit-eating motherfucker that you hate him. You don't want to watch the movie.
Yeah, and you get to watch him die.
I guess that's fair.
He gets fucked up in that movie. Gladiator's great.
okay.
Gladiator's like Titanic for dudes, and that everybody hates it, but they can never conceptualize why.
Fuck Gladiator.
Okay,
Gladiator's
so
great.
Hercules in New York. I'm Hercules.
I am Hercules.
So I mean that's pretty much it.
My name is
like
Gladiator.
like Atlas and some other dudes show up and
I am Brutus.
and save
Brutus.
Hercules from being beat up by the mob. Oh, and you know what? We totally forgot Pluto. Let's talk about Pluto a little bit.
Oh,
Pluto
yeah.
fucks.
Pluto's a shady
Well,
motherfucker.
I just want to talk about the scene where like okay, so like
He looks like a pill dealer.
so Hercules' evil stepmom like wants to like it's unclear like what her plan is, but like she wants Pluto to like fuck with Hercules somehow, and so he like goes to visit him in his apartment, and it feels so gay because like he's like it's so weird, like they're like standing
pressed up against each
yeah,
other.
they're like standing by the door, and like I forget what he says, but like Arnie says something like kind of threatening to him, and like shows off his physique, and Pluto's like
takes off his shirt for the
and
60th
Pluto's
time.
like, oh, I can be muscly too, and he like turns around and like presses his back against Arnie's chest and like makes a muscle, and it feels so gay. Like, I just expected them to start making out. It was hilarious.
And aren't they like
They
half
should
brothers
have.
or something?
I don't fucking know.
What?
Aren't they like half brothers or something too?
No, Mercury was his half brother.
Yeah, they're all half brothers. It's Greek.
I don't fucking know.
Oh,
It's a
speaking
whole
of
thing.
gladiator incest. Oh, half bro.
What are you doing, half bro?
And then yeah,
I'm stuck in Wrigley Field, half bro.
and then yeah, Hercules gets saved from another gay pounding by the mob boss. And yeah, there's a lot more of the awesome like no contact punches and people like getting thrown, but obviously being like, well, here I go, ah!
Oh no, I have been bested.
I am vanquished. Yeah, and then after that, Hercules just kind of like goes to the Empire State Building and like says, "Die, can I get a ride?" And he just
Die.
kind of goes home, and that's just it. No, wait, that's not just it, because then Zeus, he hears he hears about Hercules' experience in New York, and he's like, "Leave me, I must think of what I have been told," and then he thinks on it. And then he invents Judaism because. No.
Oh yeah, he comes down into the plane.
Yeah,
and
we
it's the
see-
same
we-
gag as before, but
Yeah.
he's dressed up like an Orthodox Jew.
Yeah, what's with that?
I think it's supposed to be the beard, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's the beard that makes it that. But like, yeah, he's wearing like the hat and everything, and like the black coat and everything. Yeah, like he's an Orthodox Jew for some reason. It's just the beard that makes the connection.
His
But
Skyrim beard.
yeah, I don't know like what. I don't know. It's a very like lighthearted way to end the movie, and it didn't really feel matching in tone for the rest of it because it felt like the rest of the movie was very much trying to be taken seriously.
Was it?
I think so. I think so.
He was finding a guy in a bear suit.
Yeah, but I feel like we were supposed to think it was a bear.
The director was looking like through his directorial hands, like, all right, this is it.
Director.
No, this is the money shot.
Perfect.
But yeah, I think that's it.
That's
No,
Hercules.
that's Hercules in New York.
Hercules.
What would you give it out of 10?
This is a tough one.
It's another one where, like, obviously it's shit, but
we
had so
enjoyed
much
the hell
fun
out of it.
watching
Yeah,
it.
so
So
it's
it's
like-
like, at what point do you grade, like, entertainment-wise, 8. As far as quality, like a 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll say a 7 for entertainment because yeah, I think the second half was just not nearly as entertaining as the first.
Yeah, it's true. I dock it to a 7.
Yeah,
8.
but yeah, as far as like its actual quality in terms of what it's going for, yeah, 3 as well.
I'm gonna say 8 and 2.
We were so
Lot more
close
variance
to
there.
greatness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah.
Okay, so should we say something bad about it? Well, we've done that.
No.
So say something nice about it, like genuinely nice.
There's plenty of things bad with it.
Yeah, we've spent enough time on that. But yeah, like it's gonna be tough to think of a genuine compliment for this movie.
I have one
Do you?
immediately.
Go.
Is it the music?
I was just gonna say we didn't talk about the music.
The music was
That is
bad.
the most anachronistic music ever.
It's-
I don't
it's
know
like-
what it's supposed to be going for. It's like parlor, weird, like
It's
carousel
like,
music.
It's like the music in that Pixar short where the guys play chess in the park.
Yeah.
You know, or
Yeah.
like music that plays in like Isle Delfino and Mario Sunshine. You know, it's like doop 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 doo, doop 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 doo.
It's weirdly cheery. It's like what you'd hear in like a Greek bar.
At some
It
point,
reminds
it's
me
like
of a merry-go-round.
at some point it's
Yeah.
like dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of clay, kind of shit. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, so you're saying the music is your good thing?
No, we just kind of got sidetracked there. I don't know what my good thing
we
is.
just had to touch
Well,
on it. It was such a big.
Yeah, we had to mention it because that's very
Humor is
consistent.
mass
It's
that
very
we didn't
consistent throughout the
mention.
movie. Like this music does not change.
My good thing is actually the opening. I think the scene with the mountains and then the monologue with the echoey Zeus voice was actually pretty cool.
Really?
Yes.
So we have to give an actual compliment, not just something that we found like funny, ironically.
Yeah.
Fuck, this is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
You've
There
done
was,
this
there was no
39
pug.
times.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, there's no.
There's no pug in New York.
I don't have it out here.
Pugs didn't exist yet.
That's good. Got my good thing out. What you guys got?
Gotta put my thinking hat on.
Yeah, I might need to stall for a minute. I thought it looked. Actually, I thought it looked pretty convincing when Arnie flipped that car. I thought it looked fairly
Stretch
convincing.
before you reach, sir.
I mean that. I'll give it to you.
I mean,
That was cool.
I mean, I guess.
And then he threw the cab driver into the sun. It was great.
I mean, Arnie was a bodybuilder, so he's in good shape. I can believe that he's fucking all these people up because he's a beast.
okay, there you go.
You mean Arnie's stature is yours?
Sure.
He's saying
His
he
physique.
fit the role well.
His physique.
Yeah,
He's
I was
definitely.
just admiring his.
He is
it was
Hercules.
good casting.
Well, now it sounds backhanded. But we'll take it.
We
All
kind of
right.
have to.
I mean,
So
they cast him for his form, and they, I guess we're correct.
Yeah, they got what they needed.
all right. So that brings us to Harlan's trivia hour. What do we got?
Oh shit. We got a couple mildly interesting things. So yeah, as we noted before, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger's film debut. He is credited in the movie as Arnold Strong, Mr. Universe.
Shout out to Arnold.
I think it's well known that Arnie has said that he thoroughly regrets appearing in this film. Let's see. Ooh, so this actually could warrant a rewatch.
But Jingle All the Way was fine.
Yeah. This could warrant a rewatch in the very near future. Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice is dubbed throughout the film. It has later been released on DVD with Arnold's voice, which I'm pretty sure we watched the actual one with his voice. We should watch the dub sometime.
Oh god.
Because I'm sure it's bad.
Well, this has to be better, right? Because half the charm of this one was because it was Arnie.
That's true. Yeah, maybe the dub is a lot more clear and he just speaks like a normal person.
I am Hercules.
Why are we discussing the delicacies of? Like, he just speaks very clearly. He's got like a perfect radio voice. Hello, madam. Nice to meet you. My name is Hercules. I come from Mount Olympus.
I come from the high mountain.
I mean, if we want to keep with the New York theme, you could just have like a Larry King voice. R.I.P.
Okay. German actor Oliver Kalkofe, who hosts the television program Die schlechtesten Film aller Zeiten.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, it's great. Classic. Said that it was considered.
Speak it in American.
Said that it was considered to add this film as part of the bad movies lineup. So it's like German B-roll boys. They ripped us off. The idea was scrapped after Arnie personally vetoed, saying that he doesn't want the film to be broadcast on television ever again. One alternate title for the film is Hercules Goes Bananas.
I mean, he certainly does that. It basically
does.
just spoils the plot.
Yeah.
Well, then he should have fought a gorilla then and not a bear.
He's the leader of the bunch. You know him well. He's finally back to kick some towel.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's all we got for Hercules in New York.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Cool. Thanks again to Not Mara Rose. What an awesome suggestion. You rule.
I mean, it's going to be hard to top a suggestion like this.
Actual king.
Fucking bring it on.
So, yeah, Wes, what are we doing next?
Hey, so since we just watched
Fucking
an
Jesus.
Arnie movie, we should venture back to the 80s again with some Sylvester Stallone's 1987's Over the Top. Harlan, do you have any idea what this is?
Not a clue.
A trucker, and he's really good at arm wrestling.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
All right.
Oh, there's more than that, but we'll see
I'm in.
next week.
No, yeah, say no more.
All right, we good See you next
Alright,
week
see you
for Over the
next
Top.
Fare thee
Bye.
well. I am Hercules.
No man is superior to Hercules.
Trash, bro.
I need a second, okay? Why can't anybody give me a goddamn second?
Hold on. You dig on multiverses?
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah!
That's it. What, we some kind of...
B-roll boys.
I'm Hercules.
So you told me.